so they're in specials now. Printed some stuff, made some copies. When they come back in, we're going to talk a little bit, because we have a math test to do, so they get 8 minutes. We're going to explain to them that whole process. They'll do that, because we only have 15 minutes from the time they come back from specials till we have to leave for lunch. And the test takes 8 minutes. So we're going to do that, and then we move some things around a bit. So after they come back from lunch and recess, we'll do a read aloud, and we'll continue on with our day. But that's the plan so far.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies. Hold on, just let us escape and fly away tonight. We have the world in our sight.
So, rather than starting STEM when they come back, we're going to do their math test because we only have 15 minutes between specials and lunch. So their math test is going to take about 8 minutes, so we'll have time to explain. They'll take the test, and then we'll set them off to lunch. Then we're going to move STEM to later on in the day, which I think is a good idea because we won't have time to do anything. So then when they come back from recess, we'll do our read aloud, to kind of, get them back into work mode. And then we have a writing prompt and some other stuff that we're going to do later on in the day. So yeah.
Together we'll be alright. Can you see forever we will go?
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. Yeah, that's all I got for right now. We didn't start the day. So it's raining and thundering. So guess who has indoor recess? Wish me luck. So first part of day 4 is going well. We found out we have indoor recess because it's raining, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be an interesting time, to say the least. Hi there. So it is the end of the day. I just got back a little while ago, had dinner, and, kind of settled down, and I was doing some work on the computer. I was doing some editing for one of my videos, and I saw that. So I was doing some work on the computer, and I'm filming this on my computer, which is why it looks kind of wonky. But I went on my email and I saw that my YouTube account and my whole Google account for Part Student Part Teacher has been all reinstated, which is awesome, because it's been gone for 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. So now I can actually get back on and post these videos that I've been working on, which is really exciting. I started using Premiere, which I haven't used before, but if you don't know, I'm very much into film, very into video editing, so it's about time that I've gotten into Premiere. My best friend uses it, and so she said she's gonna, show me the ropes for some of the fancier, more in-depth edits. So hopefully future videos will look really cool. But I just edited my video that will have been up already by the time you're watching this, so you can check it out. I'll leave a link. But I just made a video about setting up my classroom in Premiere. It's nothing fancy yet. I'm still learning the program, but I wanted to share that. I thought that was really exciting. And I am working on uploading my video about my Tanzania lesson, which hopefully is up by the time I upload this. So I'll leave a link to that one as well. But I just, have really great Wi-Fi that loves to cooperate, so it'll definitely be up really soon. But yeah. Anyways. So I am just working on some editing. I have a couple things to do for school real quick that I want to type up. And yeah, just doing some work. Today went really well. Today we did a writing lesson, we did another reading lesson, we started a math lesson. I had to leave a little bit early today, so I didn't get to see all of the math lesson, but I got to see the beginning, which was nice. We also did we did a read aloud today, and we're going to use that book for a shared reading later on. So that was cool. We read Mercy Watson to the Rescue, and you haven't read it. It's about a pig. Her name is Mercy Watson. And I told them initially I was going to read a couple chapters. Actually, so my cooperating teacher was like, okay, everyone sit down on the rug and, face the chair over there where I was sitting. And they're like, are you teaching now? So they sounded really excited, which made me happy. But so I told them I was going to read a couple chapters, and I said, I haven't read this book yet, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. And some of them have read it and told me that it's a fantastic book, so that was exciting. So I said, this is a chapter book, it's kind of long, so we're going to read a couple chapters. Maybe 2 chapters, how about that? And some of them were like, oh, let's do like 2 or 3. Some of them were like, whatever, But we decided on 2 chapters. Which is what I had planned. But so I said that, and then they were doing a little bit of talking into it, and I was sort of responding, and my cooperating teacher was like, feel free to just keep reading and ignore some of the shouting out, which made me feel more comfortable, because there are definitely times when the kids are talking when I want to hear what they have to say and I want to address them, but at the same time we have to move on. So just her little bit of like assurance there made me feel more comfortable in not getting to everyone. But so we were reading, and we read the first 2 chapters, and they started getting pretty into it. They were helping me out. I'd pause and ask a quick question, like nothing too in depth. It was just a read aloud. But we got to the end of the 2nd chapter. We were on the last page, and it got really intense. It was like the bed creaked and the floor moaned, and like that was the end of the chapter, right? So I said, you know what? That's the end of chapter 2. I guess we're done for today. And they were all like, no, I want to know what happens. So that was exciting. That made me really happy. My teacher wasn't in the room for that, which was kind of, she like stepped out to go grab something, and then she came back. But they all seemed really into it, so we read a 3rd chapter. And then by the end of the 3rd, they were still like kind of bummed that we had to stop, but we had to move on to our next thing, so I stopped it. And my teacher said it went well. I didn't really get to talk to her much because I had to leave early after school today. But I think it went well. I'm excited to get to do a little bit more of this. So maybe towards the end of this week and into next week, I can start like actually doing more content. I've done 2 read alouds, and just helped with a couple lessons here and there. And she'll bring up my name a lot. She includes me whenever she's talking about like herself. She'll say, when Miss Dominguez and I, blah blah blah. So it's nice to like be included in that, so the kids see me as a teacher too. One of the things we're working on right now is that you talk to the teacher who's teaching. So if, my cooperating teacher is teaching and I'm sitting down watching, they can't come up to me and ask me a question, like if they can leave or, blah, blah, blah. And they have to ask the teacher who's teaching. So we're still working on that, but it seems like for the most part, they do see me as another teacher, which is good. I've been in some classrooms where, because I haven't been there the whole time, they're like not really sure how to see me. But at this point, I think they're starting to see me as like this is a grown up in the room that I have to listen to, and like this is a teacher. So that's really exciting because I get to be a teacher. And it's fun because I sort of explain to the kids that as a student teacher, I'm still learning how to teach. And one day I want to have my very own classroom. And so so I'm only doing this for the fall. So around Thanksgiving time, I'll be done. So I said something along the lines of, after I won't be here. I think we were talking about like they were asking me how to spell a word, and I said, well, you can sound it out. I won't always be here to, tell you how to spell a word. So you can sound it out. You can ask your partner. Because when I'm gone after Thanksgiving, I'm not going to be here to tell you how to spell words. And someone goes, when you have your own classroom? And like just sounded really excited, which made me really excited. It makes me happy. But yeah, so that was a cute little thing that happened the other day. But anyways, back to today. Another thing we did today was we did a lesson on reporting versus tattling, because we were having some issues with that over the past few days, so we addressed that. We had another assembly, which we talked about how to behave at assemblies, so it was kind of weird. But I love our principal. He is so great with the kids and great with the teachers too. He seems to like actually really care about our time and, keeps saying that, he wants to make this all like he's not going to take up our time with something pointless. He wants it to be worth it. He knows, that we're working hard and we have a lot of stuff to do. So I really respect that and I really appreciate that. So it's definitely been a great environment to work in so far. So today I sort of got to talk with my teacher a little bit about some of the tests that we took yesterday. We did a math facts, which we talked a little bit about yesterday, and we did a math test. And that was like their end of grade 1 math test, which they do at the beginning of grade 2. So they can see, sort of how much they've retained over the summer. So we had some kids get perfect scores, some not so much. And, she pointed out to me which of the kids have been identified with some sort of IDD or whatever and would be receiving services for math. So I got to see she wrote out what score each kid got, but then also what problems they struggled with. So we could see okay, this kid needs help with shapes. This kid needs help with, whatever, it's counting by twos. So I could see that, which was really cool. And I could also see, the correlation between which kids were getting services. And they haven't started much. There have been a couple pullouts so far, but those extra services, depending on the child's IEP and, depending on the resources that they receive, whatever, some of them, just happen during the day, they get pullouts, or we have a specific time period during our day called What I Need Now or When. And during that time is when kids can go for extra help. So every kid in the grade has something extra at that point. So if they need extra help with math and they get pulled out for math, then, during that time they go get a math lesson. Or if they need help with reading, they go at that time. Or, they also have the social worker available at that time, or the art room or whatever. So depending on what those kids need now each child gets some individual time there. So doing these initial tests help the teachers to kind of figure out which kid needs what. So in addition to looking at like their IEPs and stuff, we also look at these test scores to see what groups the child should be placed in, and just, what services they need so far. We didn't look too much at the writing prompts that we did yesterday. We're still gonna have to go over those. But today they did another writing activity. This time we actually did a lesson, and had, that workshop that went along with it. So it wasn't like a writing prompt. It was, they could talk to each other. And, we talked throughout the thing. We stopped them to like reiterate points and whatever, we walked around. So I think tomorrow we're going to do another mini lesson about planning out their stories and what a sketch is, because a lot of them were like really wanted to do full out drawings and like do a lot of details. And we were really trying to emphasize the idea of a sketch, which they are familiar with from last year. But I guess a lot of them were having a hard time with that. And my teacher said that last year that was a lesson that she had to do as well, because our class last year was having a hard time with sketches. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'll check in with you tomorrow, keep you updated. But yeah. Happy Thursday. So, today is Thursday. It is day 5 of school. Today's picture day, so that'll be interesting. My teacher is doing a staff picture right now. But yeah, we're doing some more math and reading and writing and all that jazz today. I'm hoping maybe I can help out with some of the writing today, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it for today. So, the kids went home. Today went really well. I got to help out with the writing lesson, and I did a read aloud. So it was fun to get to like actually do things. I got to help with math too, so that was really fun. I got my picture taken, so I'll get a new ID that doesn't just say staff on it. It'll actually have my picture, so that's fun. But yeah, so Thursday went well. One more day of the week, and then I get to go back to sleep. But yeah, so it was good. Thursday is over. Today went really well. I got to do a couple different things in the classroom, lead a couple things, so that was really cool. So I'm just going to kind of talk about what I did today, sort of go over that and our plan going forward. So today I got to do the read aloud again, which again the kids loved and they didn't want to stop, which made me really happy. So we read the next 3 chapters of Mercy Watson to the Rescue. So hopefully we should finish that up tomorrow. I think we have 4 chapters left. So hopefully we'll finish that up tomorrow. I told the kids we could. They seemed really excited, so that was good. I got some feedback from my teacher on my read aloud from yesterday. Before doing it, I wanted to check in with her, see how my timing was and everything. And she said that I did really well, that my timing was perfect, that, those 3 chapters were completely okay, and like to do the same thing today. So that was good. So it took about the same amount of time. And she said that I did a really good job like talking to the kids and getting on their level. She thinks that the hardest thing for me is just going to be that they're 2nd grade, and I'm so used to preschool now. And that definitely has been really hard for me. But I think I'm sort of getting used to it a little bit. I mean, as much as I could have in 5 days of school. But yeah, so there's that. Today I also got to help out a little bit with the writing lesson. When I was reading it over last night, it seemed like, you know, this one was going to be pretty simple and straightforward, and I didn't want to, like, take over completely by myself yet, so we kind of co-taught it, which was nice. So she did the majority of it, and I kind of pitched in a little bit and shared my own ideas. So I think that went okay. It definitely wasn't the best thing ever, but it was like a partner thing, and she did most of it, so I didn't really have too much to do. But it went pretty well. And then for math, she taught the mini lesson, and then they break up into their 4 groups and rotate through stations. 3 of those stations are games that they can play on their own, and then the 4th station is with a teacher. So she'll do like some worksheets type stuff with them. So I sat and watched her do some of the like teacher station with the kids, and I kind of helped out a little bit. And then she said, tomorrow I can do that small group by myself. That I wasn't going to do the mini lesson or anything. We weren't going to, you know, jump into that right now. But that I would do the small group by myself. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll go really well. We have a very wide range of abilities in my class. We have some kids who, you know, breezed through it and were on to like the challenge worksheets, you know, like finished right away and went on to like our super challenges afterwards. And there were some kids who really struggled to finish even, you know, the first thing. But so that was really cool for me to see like the different levels. But I'm not really sure how that's going to go tomorrow, just because I want to make sure that I'm, you know, working at the right level for these kids. Right now we have them sort of grouped by level. So we can say, okay, everyone here, you know, we're just going to work through this one group and then work through this one packet. And then when the next group comes over, we're going to say, okay, we're going to aim to finish this packet and this one extra sheet. So I think that'll help a little bit. But I want to make sure that I'm, you know, giving these kids what they need for the level that they're at. You know, I want to make sure I'm focused on their specific abilities, you know, the things that they need help with. So I just, you know, I think it'll be really hard for me to kind of, you know, to be able to adjust to all these different levels and to accommodate all these different levels. You know, just because I want to make sure that, you know, they get what they need, you know. We also started to find out some of our scheduling. We have a bunch of kids who receive special ed services, a bunch of kids in the SRBI process. I think we have one kid who has a 504. So we have kids all over the place getting all different kinds of services, right? And so a couple of them have started to, you know, be pulled out for extra help for different things based on their IEP. But a bunch of the kids still have not started any of their pullouts or push-in stuff. So we have a time of our day called Win, What I Need Now. And during that time is when those kids can get pulled out for extra help with things. But also the other kids who don't get special services can get an extra, like, help session. So if you see some kids who are really struggling with their addition, and they're not going to get any extra services from an IEP or a 504 or whatever, that would be the time to sit with them and give them extra help in that area. We also have like art and library open at that point. So, you know, kids who you think are going to really excel in art and need more creativity in their day, they can go and have that section. Or there are kids who, you know, maybe just, like we have one kid who absolutely loves books. Isn't one of our really high readers. He falls more towards the middle range. But he just loves to read. He loves books. So we put him in the library group, so he's going to get some extra time for reading. And I think they're going to do some, like, tech stuff in there too, you know, do some media stuff. So I think he'll, you know, really get a kick out of that. And, you know, we had one other kid that we thought doing this would help him to, you know, open up more and have some more things to talk about with his group, and participate more in group sessions around things like books. So we put him in that group. So this win block is just, you know, an extra time for kids to get something that they need. So because we still haven't gotten all of our schedules for all of our kids, we haven't gotten any schedules for the kids in the SRBI program. So we're still waiting on that so we can figure out and make our groups and see, you know, are these kids getting pulled out during the WIN block, and what sort of help are they getting, so we know what help to give the other kids. And, you know, should we arrange for this kid to be in a group, or should we expect them to be pulled out to go to another group? So that's all a mess. That starts on Monday, and it's Thursday, and we don't have anything, so I'm not really sure how that goes. My teacher's been very nice and, like, sharing these things with me and letting me help her decide, like, which kids to put where. So though, you know, she is ultimately in charge of that, she does let me have a say, or at least let me voice my opinion, which I really like. But so far, you know, the two of us and the rest of the school, nobody really knows what's going on with that, so we're still waiting to hear back. So hopefully we'll figure something out tomorrow. And then we can get them going on Monday. So who knows? And I'm not sure what I'll be doing at that point. That may just be a lot of me observing, or they may have me, you know, do an extra group work with some of the kids, do a sort of pull out or push in kind of group. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, we got our pictures taken today. It was picture day. So I got my picture taken for my new ID badge, which makes me feel very official, so I'm very excited about that. I think it'll be really cool to, like, actually have a badge with my name and my picture on it. Whereas right now, it's just a blank space that says photo, and it says, like, staff or substitute on it. So it'll be cool to actually get to see that. And, like, some of the kids have actually looked at my name tag and it's like, why isn't there a picture on it? I'm like, well, I'm not an actual teacher here, so I just get this extra one. But now I'll get my own, so I'm really excited about that. So I'll be sure to share that with you once I get it. But yeah. What else today? So tomorrow we're going to move on to the next reading and writing lesson. We don't have time for math tomorrow, so we'll push that off. And then tomorrow we are launching our boats, so we'll see how much those can hold. We'll test them all out and see who wins. Another thing that was really cool today that we did was a STEM activity. And we're going to have, normally in the morning, for their morning work, we're going to have a STEM bin for them. So each group will get a different STEM bin, and in it we have, I sort of put these together. She, like, printed them all out, but I've been putting all the bins together and doing the folders and everything. So there's a bin of all the materials that they need, unless it's something like, you know, give them 50 gazillion Legos and tell them to build this, that, and the other thing. You know, for things like that where it's just like, give them some sort of building material, then that'll be different. But for things where it's a very specific number, like you need 5 dice and 3 unit cubes and 3, you know, whatever. So then we have a box for that with all of those materials in it. And to go along with that, there's a folder which has any sort of papers. So if they have to sketch out their design, or if there's some sort of explanation or like a coding sheet, they have that in the folder. And then each activity has its own folder, and they're all sort of grouped together in a larger folder. So in each individual folder there's an activity so they can work through. So let's say for the time one, they have one that is time with digital clocks, and one that's time with analog clocks, and one that's, you know, going from digital to analog, or analog to digital, or whatever it is. So we have those kinds of things. And then, you know, they have one like duration of time with the story, duration of time with the clock. So they have a couple different things that they can work through there. And they use whatever is in their STEM bin to work through it. So it could be Play-Doh and popsicle sticks, and they gotta build something, or Legos and they gotta build something, or whatever it is. But I think those are gonna go really well. I'm really excited to see those. I have to finish organizing them a little bit. I wanna, you know, make sure everything's nice and neat. I mean, I know that the kids are gonna mess them up, Like, obviously, they're not going to stay perfect, but I want them to start perfect, at least so that we know where everything is, and everything is with the whole kit. So you don't just, get a folder and you have nothing to build with. So I'm going to work on that. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. So anyways, I started to say we're going to do STEM. We did a STEM activity today. And for today, what they did is we partnered them up, and they were given a 12 by 12 inch sheet of aluminum foil, and they had to make a boat. And the goal is to be the team whose boat holds the most cubes. So we have like the ones cubes from the ones, tens, and hundreds block kit. And so your team wants to hold the most. So today they got to each work in their team and sort of try it out. We had some buckets of water so they could test out to see whether there's floated or not. They got to put in, to see if it holds a lot of cubes or not that many, and go back and try. And then each of the kids, each of the teams put together a little video. We have a couple iPads in the class, so they filmed their boat and got to explain their process. We built a square boat with tall sides so that way it could hold a lot, or whatever it was that they did. And then they took that video and we put it on Seesaw, which is a website and an app that we use, so all their family members can see it. And Seesaw is really cool in that you can send things out to everyone, or you can put it so only certain families can see it. So like, if Drake and Josh were partners and they put their video up, they would select their name, so only Drake's family and Josh's family got to see it. It wasn't like the whole class got to see everyone's, and then everyone was just overloaded with videos and pictures and stuff. They got to do that, and they really liked doing that, being able to use the iPads and to send something home to their families. So that was cool. And then tomorrow we'll test them out and see how much they can hold and see who wins. But, yeah. So I guess that's it for Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.
We are forever learning, one step at a time.
This one here.
As long as the world is
So
turning,
far,
I'll
that
be
one's
by
working.
your side.
You'll be able to see after.
We'll keep the
That one is staying as well. So if the theory is that high walls is better, if high walls is better, then why is that one working? Turn and talk to your partner. Go.
Okay, so today is Friday, my second week, I guess technically, even though it's only been 8 days of school, is complete. Today was really fun. We got to do a lot of really cool activities that the kids were really into, so that was really fun. Yeah. So one of the first fun things that we did was our STEM activity from yesterday. We got to actually sail our boats today, and we did the big lunch. We filled up our big bucket. So we filled up our big bucket and we put the boats in, and we tried to see which one could hold the most cubes. And then from there we did kind of like 3 rounds, and we found our winner, and the kids were really excited about it. And they all wanted to see, and they were getting really into it even if they didn't win. So that was really fun to see. My camera just ran out of memory, and rather than dealing with that now, I'm just going to record on computer. So, anyways. So, yeah, there's that. We launched our boats. The kids really enjoyed it. They got really into it, so that was fun. One of the other things we did today was we got a little mixed up. We had a fire drill, and then we messed up the times that we were supposed to be in gym and whatever, and it was all confusing. So we ended up going to gym super early, and like not realizing that we were super early, so we like read a book in the hallway, and we probably would have had time to do the whole activity had we like stayed in the classroom and actually looked at our schedule and like when we were supposed to be at gym, but we didn't get to it today. But we read the book Giraffes Can't Dance, and this was something that one of our teachers on our team had done with her class, and she said went really well. But so we read the book, and then the next part of the activity, it's called The Power of Yet, and we read the book Giraffe Can't Dance, and it's about a giraffe who can't dance, and everyone's making fun of him and whatever, and in the end he finds the music that he loves, and he can dance, and it's, it's really cute. Side note about that story, if you watch my video on my lesson about Tanzania, one of the things that we noticed in the library from that classroom was the book Giraffe Can't Dance, which is something that the preschoolers had read. So that was a really cool connection that they made. Anyways, so the next part of this lesson would be to talk about things that we can't do yet. And I made a big poster. I'm hoping that we can find the laminator and laminate that like right away, so I don't have to make another one for her to use later, because she was saying how she's never going to be able to draw that. She needs to have me draw whatever. It wasn't like super fancy or anything. I just like looked at a picture and drew it. But anyways, so we made a big poster where we're going to write down the things that we can't do yet, and they have like a little worksheet paper thing that says, I can't blank, but I can blank. And it's all about how there are things that we can't do yet, but we're working on it, we're growing, we're practicing, we're working out our brain, or whatever muscles we're using. So maybe, I think we're going to start off with just like a general thing that we can't do yet. So one of the girls was talking about how she can't do a handstand yet. Her legs always fall over. So maybe that's something that she wants to do, but she can't do yet. And we're going to talk about all these other things, and then we're going to focus on specifically school stuff. So I think that'll be really cool. The kids seem to enjoy the book. It rhymes, so they finished off some of the sentences and did that. So that was cool. I really wish that we had actually followed our schedule and looked at stuff, so we had gotten to finish it completely. But it was really fun. And yeah, we also got a bunch of our stuff laminated today, so we did a lot of cutting during dismissal and after school and whatever, so we could put up all of our things that we got laminated. Those will probably be in pictures for next week's video, because I didn't take pictures before I left. I don't know if I said in the previous video that I was going to do a math lesson today. If I said I was going to do a math lesson today, I realized we don't have math on Fridays, so I'm going to do it on Monday. But yeah, that's still part of the plan. I also talked with my teacher, and she said that she wants me, because I'm being observed, not this Monday, but next Monday, that she wants me to do the reading lesson by myself on Thursday. So I'll do it Thursday by myself, and then Friday I'll do it by myself if it goes well. If it doesn't go well on Thursday, then I can have my teacher do it again, so I can watch her one more time before I get observed, which I really like. I think that's a great way to do it, and I love my teacher. She has been so helpful through all of this. We did we've been doing writing prompts, and she graded a few, gave them to me to look over, and I wrote down my questions, and we went over them today, and she walked me through stuff, which was really helpful. She graded one right in front of me so I could see her thought process, and then I graded one, and I graded one, and then she looked it over and showed me how she would grade it, and she made a couple changes, and I thought I was grading really high, but hers ended up being higher than mine, so I got to see where I thought I was, where I should be, whatever. So that was good. We've been talking a lot about kids getting support services based off of their IEPs or 504s or SRBI or whatever. We've been talking about that a lot. because of just all the things that are happening. Like we have one kid who shut down today during writing, just like completely shut down, didn't want to do anything, and like we've noticed that before. And yesterday I was kind of working with him to help him through that, but we talked about how he's supposed to be getting services for writing, and I think that's starting next week. I'm not really sure. Hopefully it is, because like I know like once this kid like gets writing, he can do it. It's just the getting started that he has a really hard time with. So then he just completely shuts down because he can't, get there. So we've been talking a lot about like the services and stuff, and she's been great about answering my questions, which is awesome. So yeah, next week we're supposed to be starting our win block, or what I need now time. So hopefully by Monday we get all the information about all of our students and know like who's being pulled out to get services and who's doing what. And so right now it's just a mess, but I'm really hoping that by Monday it will be okay, But yeah. Another thing that we did today was we finished our Mercy Watson book, which the kids really loved. And afterwards, when I was talking to my teacher about my like coming observation, she was saying that she wasn't really worried about me, doing the lesson, taking over that much. She said like, when you were doing the story today, like I didn't even have to do you tell you to do a retelling. You just kind of did it. Like you have a natural feel for this. You know what to do, that you have like natural, like you're very natural with the behavior management, like of the crowd and everything. So that made me feel really good to like hear her say that. She said like she wasn't worried about me at all, like taking over for like periods of time. So that made me feel really good, especially because of the lack of confidence in me and the lack of support that I got last semester. So that's been really helpful. But anyways, we read the book and the kids absolutely loved it. They got really into it, which made me really happy. And yeah, it was good. We had, I think like 5 chapters left or something, but they were shorter chapters, so we got through it, in the same amount of time, and like the kids did really well. So yeah, it was just a fun time. A lot of my kids are going through a lot. I've been realizing, like they're 7 years old, but they have a lot of things going on in their lives right now. Like one of our kids is going through like some custody stuff right now that I know is really hard on her. Like she doesn't have very good relationships with certain people in her life. So that's something that she's going through right now, and like you can see how that's affecting her. So that's really not fun. Or like we have one kid whose mom and baby brother are in the Dominican Republic right now, and with like the storm that's going on, all the things that they're experiencing. So like it's really tough to, see the things these kids have to go through at such a young age. It's, to put it in the words of one of the little girls from this morning, like it hurts my heart to know that, they have some really tough things going on in their lives. So, we just want to make school a safe and fun place for them where they can like, escape all of that bad stuff. I'm gonna start crying. But like we have one kid who just like, I don't even know, like they're just, it's really sad to see the stuff that they've experienced, especially at such a young age. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm crying. Woo! I cry a lot. But yeah, that's about it.
And I'll go out of my own way for you. go.